Hey, I'm Ellie, and I am here today to talk to you about math dates. I'm sitting here in front of my math dates whiteboard, and I have to say this is my first Facebook Live, and so I'm a little nervous. And so if I stumble over my words too much or get the temptation to just hit stop, please forgive me. So anyway, math dates. So maybe you've heard of math dates before. Maybe you've used them already. Maybe you've seen them when you're scrolling and you've kind of scrolled by because you didn't know what they were. Or maybe you've never seen them before. Basically, what they are is a way to write the date using different numbers to write the day, the month, and the year, using different expressions. So students can see all the different ways that you can write math expressions and all the different ways that you can write a number. So I started using these in my classroom about 5 years ago. And then I started posting them on Instagram every week about 4 years ago, so that if other teachers wanted to use them with their kids in class, they could do that. Now, I use them with sixth graders because I taught sixth grade math. So sixth graders were my target. So when I started using them, I used them basically so that, again, students would see you can write things in different ways. But as I started using them more and more, I decided that it would be a good way to reinforce certain concepts or introduce different concepts. So, for example, I would use 2 cubed over and over and over again because, kids often think with exponents that 2 cubed means 2 times 3 and it's 6 rather than 2 times 2 times 2 equaling 8. So using that over and over again, eventually kids really got that in their brain that 2 cubed was 8. I also used 51 divided by 3 a lot, especially in 2017, because a lot of times kids think 51 is prime and they don't check divisibility rules to see what it could be divisible by, and they just figure it's prime. So after using 51 divided by 3 or 51 divided by the square root of 9 over and over and over again, they really got in their brains that it was 51 divided by 3 was 17. So great way to introduce and reinforce. Introducing, like cube root of 125, I would put that on there, have a little mini lesson just so they understand what the notation means, and then talk about it a tiny bit, and then move on. So a lot of teachers have reached out over the years and asked how I use these. Sometimes I just put them on the board, and when the kids go to check what the date is, they see that they have the expression, and they have to figure out the expression in order to realize what the date is. I also have calendar cards, so we put those on the calendar, and so they can't just look at the calendar real quickly and see what the date is there. They have to take the second to figure it out. It's a great way to start class. I would have them on the board all day, so my homeroom kids would look at them, my math students would look at them, my ninth period students would look at them, and, just a quick way to get some math in. Sometimes I had students write them on their own calendar that they would have in their notebook. They would show how they solve the expression, and then a lot of times kids wanted to figure them out kids wanted to make their own. So they would solve theirs and then they would create their own. So it's a great way to get a little more creativity going on and a little more brainstorming going on. So they really enjoyed doing that. And then some students actually tried to evaluate the whole thing. Like they would take this and look at it as an entire expression. And I hope this isn't backwards. I hope it's forwards. It looks forward for me, so I hope it's not backwards for you. But they would take the entire thing and then try to evaluate the entire expression and find the answer to the whole thing. So a lot of different ways that kids can use those. So that is just my quick little note update information about math dates. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can reach me here on Facebook at Cognitive Cardio with Middle School Math Moments or on Instagram at Middle School Math Moments. Thanks for listening.